Well, tonight I'm feeling a bit of guilt. I saved a pigeon ages ago in around 2003. And, well, I tried to anyways. I brought it back here and I put it in a little nesting box. And everything was going well. I mean, we were feeding it, helping it drink water, and it was feeling comfortable. But then my brother kicked up a fuss, and we ended up taking the little pigeon to a shelter to grow up. And, a little while after that time, I think I saw the little pigeon on the road. It cocked his head and gave me a long stare while it was on the road with a couple of other pigeons. And the car came up from behind and hit it, and it rolled around in its tyre before flopping onto a portion of embankment in the middle of the highway. So it was on the grass, and I went to pick it up, but for some reason I couldn't make myself pick it up. Like, I'm not used to touching things that seem dead. And so I left it there, and I tried to get my brother to pick it up. And when he tried to pick it up, the little wings were flapping. And so he dropped it and said, "Let's go, I don't want to touch this." And so I left it there, and within a day, someone else had picked it up, and I don't know what became of it. I mean, people here in Melbourne play around with dead things. They try and make it alive. They're stuffed up with their own blow, and they succeed in somehow, allowing it to regain consciousness. But then they torture the things to death again, and then they do the same thing over and over. It's part of their cult, it's part of their lifestyle, it's part of their religion. They do that to animals, they do that to humans, and so it distresses me to think that that's something that this little bird could have ended up being caught in the end. But I don't know what happened to it. I mean, it's strange to think that you're seeing a replica of the same bird, a little bit more grown up while it's on the road, and you sort of wish that you had kept it and kept on with its upbringing in a positive environment, rather than give it away to a stranger who probably just, who probably forced it to grow up a bit older than usual and released it in the backyard and ended up being run over and, caught it up and who knows what. I mean, all the pets and things, that we've had have had some disastrous fate, and it makes me depressed how many things, die in the world, because, a lot of people here, they really enjoy death. They enjoy seeing people die so that they can play with them and experiment with them. And even I've been, put on a victimized stand because people have tried to, get me to drink pills and have me die early. And I've been through a lot of suffering, internal and emotional suffering in the past, 8 years or so. So, I mean, but, it sort of gets to me, like, what happens when things die, and, when you're dying and people are just, gonna, and, it's upsetting me tonight. It's like, it's on my mind, and I'm growing disgusted over the types of things that, are around me. I mean, I hate living in such a death head environment, which is what Melbourne is. People love things to be dead, they love things to be played with, and it grows distressing when you realize that people are trying to kill you so that they can do the same thing to you. And then, to know that everything, has even a disastrous fate. I mean, I think my cat, which was supposed to have been dead in Armadale, walking around Upton Street in Prahran. And it meowed and bit my leg and wanted me to pick it up. I mean, it was my cat, but it done up, and I wanted to pick it up, but I don't know what it's attached to. I mean, can you pick up your own cat, or a cat that you perceive to be your own cat? I mean, it had the same diseases, it had the same foot marks, it had it had the same heart. I mean, it will hug your shoulder if you pick it up and put it on your shoulder. So, and even the ginger cat, which we had buried in a little box in the backyard in Armadale, was walking around and meowing and wanting to say hello to you. So, and that wasn't my cat. That was a cat that I'd found dead by the road, and we'd picked it up and buried it in the backyard. But to think that these pets of yours, someone's just picked them up, make them live, and you don't know what it goes through. I mean, it probably would rather be living with you than these people are probably doing experiments and killing it and then making it relive and then killing it again as part of the, death and groupie cults. So, yeah, it just stresses me. Like, even down near St Kilda, down near the supermarket in Fitzroy, there's this tiny little black cat. It had what seemed to be a synthetic leg on its left side. I mean, it came meowing after me and, raked against my leg, like wanted to be picked up. It was very small. So, I did have a black cat in Brisbane. We gave it away before me and my parent moved to Melbourne. So we gave it away to another family, and we gave another little cat, a little orange and white cat, to the same people. And so, you're just looking at this cat thinking, are you someone I knew? Have you been donked on the head and, have you been blow dried to make you look good? But, have you been shrunken to be cute? And, what's happened to this little thing which, it's to perceive me as something that it recognizes. I mean, and even my dog. I mean, someone was walking around with, a dog that seemed like mine. I mean, it tried to nip at me when it jumped, and then ran in circles around me, and it used to jump up to bite a few earrings. And so, I mean, I perceived that as being my dog. This person was like, no, that's not your dog, and I don't know what happened to that. I mean, I'd rather be living with me than whoever it ended up with. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it was a stolen dog, but I didn't know whether my dad had purposely given away or whether it was authentically stolen. And then he started saying it was stolen, and it's like, what, can I just pick this dog up and take it back to it where I know it had more of a home? So, but all these animals and stuff have probably been tortured and, had miserable ends, or continuing to live miserable lives. And they'd rather live with someone like you because you're not abusing them, you're not putting them through any cult tortures. And, I mean, you think about it, and these indolent little animals and things would probably rather live with you, and you're just, standing like a dumbhead, not knowing whether you should be picking him up and taking him home, or just watching him come and go. I don't know, but, it depresses me. And I'm thinking about tonight becoming depressed, and I'm just like thinking, this is like hell, and it's like me too. It's like, I mean, every day I wonder if I'm gonna be okay, and every day I feel like I'm not gonna be okay. And I want to be okay because I want to live for a long time, but no one's wanting me to live. Everyone's set against me. They're not wanting to help me into a place where I might feel more comfortable, and they just push you to urge you to live how you live and try to cheer up, but you can't because, everything in your environment is like letting you down, and I didn't, and I spent all my money trying to run away from it, and end up with nothing, and you just face it every day. Like, I mean, everyone started to want to go rich because they're doing well, and they started to turn into snobs, and you're just you've been ripped of everything in your life and all your money, and no one's even wanting you to live. People are just wanting you to die and be caught having your head wired off and being done up or turned to a corpse, whatever. So tonight I'm getting pretty stressed about all these disastrous ends. I mean, it doesn't ever stop, and you're just like going, what is... And you're just getting depressed because it's all around you, all these negative people and their negative cults and wanting you dead, and playing around with life and death and the money to play, and it's okay for them to do all these things, and no one even wants your life, and you're just like, you're just wanting to be, I don't know why. So it gets under your skin and makes you hate it where you live, makes you hate your environment, and and everything's all money and God. And you can't get out or run away.